I have asked many developers, designers, and artists about what they think is the first advertisement that they make of their work, and got many answers ranging from them buying literal ads to telling one person about their work. But to my surprise, no one ever considered about the name of their product. In this video, you will get to know why you should give a very careful thought to the name of your product. Let's talk about burgers. Would you buy a burger from a place called Pink Slime? If this is the first time you are hearing of this name, you will already make a bad association with the name. And this name is especially bad for a store that sells food. Who wants to eat pink slimes? Now suppose you also have a store generically called Burger Joint just around the corner. Both stores sell burger, and at this point you have not even tasted the burgers from either of the stores. But I can bet almost all of you will never pick pink slime because, first, what is even pink slime? Second, even if they serve food, is there something pink and slimy in the food? And thirdly, you still don't know what they serve. On the other hand, you have a store that is unknown to you, but it calls itself simply Burger Joint. You can have a surety in your mind that these guys will serve burgers. You like burgers, like most of us do. So you enter their store and have a burger, which is just average, but you are satisfied because you were not really expecting anything else. But did you notice your decision about where to eat was not affected by which place served better food? You made the decision almost in a split second, without giving it much thought. People don't have time to research about your product. If they don't understand what they are getting up front, they will just move on to someone who is making something similar to you, but is communicating it in a much better way. Now this is a very oversimplified version of how naming works, but I gave this example to give you an idea of how names play a part in the business. The only people who don't have to think much about name are the ones who are really the first ones to sell something in the minds of people. For example, Coke sounds very much like street name for cocaine, but Coca-Cola still works because it has a very strong position in the minds of consumer. Now let's apply this concept to video games. Games like Sekiro or Bloodborne did very well with a confusing name, but it was because their developers established themselves very well with Dark Souls. And speaking of Dark Souls, did you know Dark Souls was supposed to be called Dark Ring? But when they found out that Dark Ring referred to anus in some English-speaking parts of the world, they changed the name to Dark Souls. That is how important naming is. First game in GTA series was simply called Grand Theft Auto, which in very plain terms tells you what the entire game is about. Of course, they later changed the name to its short form GTA, but it was only because Grand Theft Auto established Rockstar as a good studio, and people now had faith in the developer. My favorite case in naming is about FIFA and PES. You know, both games are about football essentially and are very similar. But the name FIFA is just too strong. If you don't believe me, ask any non-gamer you know about which game do they think is about football. FIFA has a very strong brand in the world. PES just cannot compete with that name. Even indie games are not out of the loop here. Some of the best examples I can think of are Minecraft and Shovel Knight. And if you come to me with exceptions, there are only very few cases in which exceptions with uncommon and bad naming work. It is possible that the core game was so good that the original small player base had to share it. Although this is very hard to achieve because most developers make generic games with some twists of their own. Or it could be that developer was so highly respected that people just assumed it will be a good game. This is where games like Death Stranding and Red Dead come. Or they made a game that was literally first in its genre. This is where Soulspawn games lie. Or it was first game on the platform it is on. I mean, think of it. If your console only has 5 games, you developers are not really competing with anyone there. Naming the games is all nice and well, but a good name will only help people understand your product better. But if your product itself sucks, no matter how good your marketing is, people will not like your product. So, making good content is also a part of good marketing, but that will be covered in another video. Never create false expectations or false promises on your ads. It will not get you any customers, it will actually make people hate you. So, going back to my first point that I made, how is the name you use your first ever advertisement? Well, when someone reads the name of your game or someone asks you what their product is called, you have the opportunity to convey them not only the name of your game, but what your game is all about. with just your name. And if you did not give thought to the name, well, you have just lost the opportunity to explain to someone what your game is all about. Hence, a missed opportunity for good advertisement. Now, if you like this video, make sure to check other videos as well. They cover huge variety of topics to help you, and if you think these videos can help someone you know, make sure to share. See you in my next video.